Hello and welcome everybody to the next video in the SEO and U series. Okay, in today's video we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. All right, now we're going to mostly just be looking at this section over here, which will tie into what we're discussing, but we're also going to be looking at, well, I can't really show you what we're going to be looking at, okay? Because quite frankly, I don't have one to use from a personal account, and I don't want to use any of the clients' information and put it out there, even if it is from our internal sites. So what we're going to be talking about today is monitoring your website's health. More specifically, what do you need to look at in order to tell that your website is healthy, that it is growing, that it is functional, and some key takeaways that you should remember as you look at your site's health. Okay, websites are a lot like people or pets. Their health varies from pet to pet, from person to person, from the beginning to the end of its life. It's going to go through phases, it's going to go through stages, and sometimes it's not going to be in the way you want it to, but so long as you keep at it and you do your best, your website will remain as healthy and as everlasting as possible. Okay, so what we're here for, right, is that what I would like to show you is what we call Google Search Console. Okay, and maybe I can do this. Just give me a moment. That's better. All right, so I've brought you here, pardon, to the Google Search Console. Okay, now we've spoken about this briefly in other videos, but in today's video, we're going to focus in on it. Okay, what does Google's Search Console allow you to do that makes it so special? Well, to put it simply, it allows you to manage, maintain, and look at a lot of your website's health. It allows you to see how many impressions you've gotten from Google, which basically means how many people have seen your website at the very least on their page. It allows you to monitor the click through rate, basically how many people are clicking on various pages to go to your website. All right, it'll give you conversion rate, which is basically just the number of clicks divided by the number of impressions. It'll give you information from the inception of your website to the end of your website. It'll give you information on your top performing keywords. It'll give you all this information for free, basically, so long as you link everything up. Now, if you do want to do that, here's a super quick overview. Find the URL that you own, paste it in here if it is a subdomain or an actual website. Okay? Then what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to take that and then you're going to have to go to wherever your DNS records are. Usually, if you're like somebody with Namecheap or with Cloudflare, it's either going to be under the hosting or under the domain website. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do that. You're going to set the text record, the origin and at, and the verification code you've set here, and you're just going to leave it until you get a confirmation that everything has been verified. Then you'll be able to monitor all of those things. Now, reason why I'm bringing this up, if you come to something like Ahrefs or SEMrush, what you can do is you can add those Google Search Console and link it, sorry, to your Ahrefs account or your SEMrush account to get a more holistic overview of things, right? Now, like I said, I'd love to show you that, but I don't want to put any of our clients' information out there or any of our internal information out there. So instead, we're just going to look at something a little bit different. So let's look at YouTube, right? YouTube.com. Okay, we're just going to look at YouTube because it's public, right? So as you can see, this is YouTube, all right? It's not the greatest, the greatest one to show you, but as you can see, this is something you're never going to reach as an individual. You can see absolutely how insane all of these numbers are. So we're not going to look at that. Basically, what we're going to look at is just using this as a template. What should you look at when you see a screen like this? Okay, first and foremost, your domain ranking. Your domain ranking is going to tie a lot into the keywords that you can affect and the keywords that you can target. Okay, so what that means is that the higher your domain ranking, the higher the difficulty in keywords you can start to target. URL. This is basically your backlinking profile. Now it looks weird that YouTube has a low number, but it doesn't really matter because they've got over 2 billion backlinks, right? So it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is basically what you're going to look at. The higher this number and the higher this number, the better. The more backlinks, or rather the more healthy backlinks you have, the better. Difference between a healthy backlink and a toxic backlink? Well, a healthy backlink is something that is marked as follow, that is on a trusted website, that has plenty of its own backlinks, that is well known, and that is older than a year or so. Okay, that's a good backlink. Anything that's considered toxic or can approach being toxic involves things like um, private blog networks, websites with difficult or long URLs, websites that don't really get any traffic, websites of that nature. Okay? Referring domains, similar to backlinking, you don't really have to worry about it, but if you want to, the total number of unique domains linking to your target. Basically, how many unique websites or unique www.something.co.za.co.uk.com.gov. Whatever. How many of those are currently pointing towards your website? Unique ones, okay? Keywords, basically how many keywords are you ranking for in the top results, how much traffic you're getting, the key paid searches, as well as traffic, okay? Over here, you can see the number of information coming through by location, and then here's all your metrics, okay? So you've got your organic pages, average organic traffic, all of these things here. You don't really have to worry about them. And if you come down here, you will also see the number of code 200 pages, which are going to be the pages that are, good, the number of redirect pages, and the number of pages that are not being found. Okay. Now, this is not fully accurate about your website. It's a great tool, but it's not fully accurate. It's more of a reference to point you in the right direction. If you're using Google Search Console, I recommend you use that as a more active overview of your website's health, okay, along with stuff like Lighthouse we showed earlier. And if you want to check your keywords using stuff like, rank math, all-in-one SEO, things of that nature, to check the general SEO health of your website. Now, the reason why I brought you here in the first place is because, like I said, this is a bad example, but your website's going to have something like this, okay? Now, when you are starting off, your website is not going to have as much traffic as you'd like. In fact, Google will actively suppress your website in certain instances to ensure that you are a real existing website and not something that's farming clicks. This is called the sandbox period, and it can occur randomly all over the place. And so what you're going to want to try and do is you're going to want to try and get out of that sandbox period as quickly as possible without being affected by Google. All right. What does that mean? It means making sure your website is in good health. It means making sure you're building up an organic backlink profile. It means growing your website steadily with content. It means regularly visiting and changing things up for the better of your website, but not too much. Okay? It means taking an active interest in the baby years of your website to allow it to grow. The more Google sees this, the more people actively visit your website, the more Google will start promoting your website. Starting to get backlinks, great. It's going to start pushing you forward in terms of the backlinks, in terms of the front page of Google. So that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. Okay. If you're selling something on your website and it might be seasonal, you might get something that happens like this. Okay. You might get a graph that looks something like this, a wavy line. Okay. Your website is going to have periods where it's going to be less popular. Okay. That's just the nature of the internet. But so long as you're active and so long as you have a net positive growth overall, that's good. Okay. If you get 1,000 viewers on average or 1,000 visits every month and you fluctuate by maybe 50 or 100, I would say that is something to just monitor. Okay. You want to aim for a positive increase, but after a certain point, once your website is in a healthy position, you don't want to try and grow it too much. You want to ensure that whatever growth you get, you can sustain for the long haul. That is the main point about your website. Slow but consistent presence and growth. Okay? So, in summary, make sure that your backlinking profile is good and that it is healthy. Ensure that your website is ranking well in terms of technical aspects with Lighthouse. Ensure that your Google Search Console is active. Monitor your website's long-term progress to see the rises and falls and the swellings and the lowerings of everything to ensure that your website has you understand your website's health best, so you can take actions in order to cure or prevent anything from happening to it. Hope this was insightful. Hope this was helpful. I will see you all tomorrow.